I'm going to be doing another Kool Glide video, and this one's going to be for laminate. This is your traditional 12 mil laminate. This is something that was a thing of the past, but now it's coming back. And the problem we had with these floors is the locking systems. You had to get up really high to click in. Not like your LVTs where you can just pretty much just put them in and push them over with your hand. These you got to bring up, lock in, and sometimes hit it with a hammer. And the reason these are coming back is because of the flatness of the floors. It isn't good for the LVT. So anyway, when we come up to a doorway like this right here, this represents a doorway. You got your wall, and then you got your casing and your door jamb, and there's a little piece of base there. And the base normally will take off, and we'll put that on later, but you really can't take these off. So what we do is we undercut them, and then if it was LVT, which is a thinner floor, we could slide our floor under and then back. But in this case, what we have to do is not necessarily put this whole row right here, but at least put a board so you can get your cut. You trace it all out, and then what you do is you take this board out after you get this cut right here for under the door, and you put it under, and then you would lay this whole row and then click your piece in, and then once you click it in, now you're able to pull it back like so. But what happens is the tongue right here won't allow you to knock it over as easily because you can't raise it up to click it in. So what happens is when you're tapping it over with your pull bar, this breaks the tongue off, and then this separates later on. So this piece right here, the reason it's coming over so easily is because I took the tongue off of it for the video, and I'll show you in a minute what it looks like. But I don't know if you can see that right there. The tongue is taken off right here, and this is the piece over here with the tongue on it. This piece has the tongue on it. And you can see that right there. That has the tongue on it, and this piece has the tongue off. So what I did was I just took a 5-in-1 like so, and there's your tongue right there, and I just knocked it off like so. You see it coming off. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but it just basically just comes off like that. So after you take that tongue off, then you're able to put the piece in like so, and then slide this piece over. I'm going to show you in a minute. Now, a lot of people do, when they do that, is they put wood glue. And when you put wood glue, what happens is, by the way, this is the tape I'm going to use in a minute. I'll explain that to you right now. But the wood glue, what happens is when you put it in, it could break down over time, especially in a doorway where there's a lot of traffic. But also too, when you put it in, you have to wait for it to dry. So you got to kind of get held up with work. So now what I'm doing is I'm prepping this. I'm getting it all ready. Okay. So I'm going to get my piece. I'm going to lock it in. I want to make sure that this seam tape is lined up correctly. And basically what it is the middle of the tape has to be where the boards join together. So I got the tape with 50% of it on this side and 50% on that side. Now that's the Kool Glide tape, okay? So what I'm going to do with the board now is I'm going to bring it over, and I'm going to lock it in, and that's it. Now I can still put wood glue here if I wanted to. It's not necessary, but normally what we would do is we would put the wood glue in this little track right here. So that's what the tape looks like underneath. I got it half on this side, half on this side. Without the tape, I just put it in, put the wood glue, bring it over, and put weight on it. with the Kool Glide, I'm putting it down, I'm bringing it over, and then I just get my Kool Glide. And it seems like for laminates, high is probably the best setting for some reason. I don't know why, but so I got my Kool Glide on there. I got it set on high. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn the power on. Okay, and then that power light, once it goes off, that means it's done. Now I'm going to get my weight, my fusion weight from the Trax company. Okay, and then wherever I left off, I'll put a mark. So just make sure that it's tight. Put my weight, put a little pressure on it. Now I don't have to keep going with the iron if I don't want to. I can take a break, because wherever I left off is where it's glued. All the rest of it still has to be glued. Let's say that's pretty dry by now. I'll put my iron on again. I stopped off about right here. Make sure my arrows are at the center. Turn it on. And once that light goes off, I'll take it off and I'll put the weight on it. Put a little bit of pressure on it just so the glue gets up in there. These weights are used for carpet. It's like a dog bone. It's from the Trax company. See how it's got the holes in it? That's so that it can breathe, you know, when you're doing carpet. I like using them for this right here. I got a couple of them. If you go to the website, trax.com, they're in Pomona. You can look at all the products they have, and then they'll direct you to a dealer. And it's the same company that makes the Kool Glide, the tape, these weights. They're a company that specializes in seaming equipment too for carpet. Now I'm going to give it another shot over here. So that glue, if I was to put the wood glue, I'd also probably have to put some tape here. And like I said, I'd have to put weight on it, let it dry, and probably just stay off that area and not walk on it. With the Kool Glide, now I'm able to heat it up. I'm able to put my weight, and once it cools, which is not very long, then I can go ahead and continue with my job. So there's no downtime. The only downtime would be probably just putting the tools away or going to get something to eat, using the restroom, whatever. By the time you come back, this will be dry and you can walk on it immediately. Now, if you don't feel comfortable walking on it, of course you can step over it or whatever, but the thing is it's not going to force you to put weight on there and then glue it. Put the glue and then put the weight and then stay away from it. You have the option to keep going. Plus, it's a lot stronger too. I'm going to show you in a minute too. At the end of this video, I'll show you what I mean. So I couldn't get all the way to the end over there, so there's a little setting where you can turn it sideways. I'm going to do that in a minute. These videos that I do, they're only 15 minutes long maximum, because they only give you 15 minutes for YouTube. Unless I'm a big time YouTuber, which I'm not. So I got to do them pretty quick. Okay, so This is almost done. What I want to show you in the very end is I want to show you how it holds together. I'll put one of these weights over here. Put our little baseboard back on, see that? That's when you're all done. It covers everything. Alright, let me give it another shot over here on the side. Using the T setting. This for sideways. This is designed for a carpet, and the T settings for when you're in a doorway. Alright, so by the time I unplug this iron, start putting my tools away, I come back and that it's going to be all done. Take my clamps off. I'm going to pull this piece out and show it to you right now. Okay, so I'm gonna take my boards apart. This one's loose. This is the one I was pushing off of. And these two right here are now one piece, okay? What I'm gonna do is push it back, like so, see that? And in a minute I'm gonna pick it up. Just gonna make sure it's not too hot. I'm gonna burn my hand. So anyway, this right here, still a little bit warm on this side, but this right here is finished. See that? That's how tight it gets right there. Look at that. It has no tongue. It's only held on by the tape in the back. See that? It will not separate and it won't come up. And if you feel comfortable, you can always put the glue in there. To be honest with you, I do put glue too. But the video, like I said, I don't have a lot of time to do all that stuff. So I kind of run short on time when I get into more of a tutorial. But look at that. That's the Kool Glide for doorways and laminate. It's one of the main reasons I bought this tool. You get to those doorways and it's a pain, but with the Kool Glide, there's no pain at all.